Simply put, it is a backend server that renders React. So the components in React 13 are divided into two, a server component and a client component. Before we're gonna get started, and what you need? Gun. A lot of gun. The goal of a server component is to ship less JavaScript and more HTML to gain a fast page load. Therefore, it cannot be used with hook or set state or a browser event like on-click. A server component serves as a wrapper and as a parent component of the client component. It queries database from a server and pass it to client component. And only then the client component take place and sends state across all applications. Take a look at this web page. Can you tell me what is a server component? I don't know. Yeah, you are right. The whole page is a server component. How about where is a client component? I cannot do it. Yes, you are right. The not-found bottom is a client component. And how's about another client component? Not yet, I don't know. I don't know, man. Yes, you're right again. It is a bottom that can listen to an on-click event. To get started, install NextJS 13, the latest versions. To be able to use Next13, the beta version, we need to go to next-config and set experimental appDjs to true. I just want to clarify that in NextJS 13, we can use Next13, the stable version, the page directory, and the beta version, the app directory, together. In NextJS 13, there are 7 file conventions. We will be talking more about it in detail soon enough. In Next12, every file inside page directory will become URL route. For Next13, it is a folder-based route. Folder inside an app directory will become route. To turn a folder into a route, add a file named page.js, not a camel case page or an uppercase page.js. It is all lowercase. We can also group similar file inside a group folder by rename a folder between a parenthesis. To turn a folder into a dynamic route, rename a folder between a square bracket. Personally, I like the way Next13 handle route. It is more organized and clean. Layout.js is a wrapper UI that will be shared across all its children. It is useful when we want to have for example, navigation header to across all its children or sidebar navigations. By default, layout reserves state, and it will not be re-rendered when we navigate across its children. And if you want it to be re-rendered, please use template.js instead. Every app must have the root layout. Just in case you don't have it, please create one. Because it is a root layout, it must return an HTML tag, also a body tag, and finally, for every layout, it must render its children. To be clear, the children here is the page file. See, when I change the page content, I like to have a shared navigation headers across its children. So inside the app directory, create a group folder named appGroups between the parentheses. Also add a file named header nav. Do you have any questions so far? What if we have a page file inside the group footer? Good, let's get back to work. As you can see, we have the root URLs. We also have the user part. The user is called John and John X. We don't have all of these routes yet. Inside an app directory, create a new folder, name user, add a page file to turn our user folder to URL route. Show me what you got. Add a dynamic folder, let's say user slug, between a square bracket. Also add a page file. I want a user John X to be not found. Add a not found file. Say the user was gone. Still nothing changed. Disqualify. Inside our page file, check if the user slug is John X. And then call not found functions. Show me what you got. I like to have another link, say an X error. Let's go back to header navigations. Add another link, say X error. Add an error file. Back to the page files. Check if user slug is X error. And then through a new error. Show me what you got. And long story short, NextJS has a not found files which can be triggered by functions inside a dynamic route. And NextJS also has an error file which will be triggered when there's something errors happen. I also like to change the HTML title. So back to the app directory, add the header file, change the title to welcome home. Add another head file, change the title to users. Show me what you got. I also like to have a loading UI. So back to our root apps directory, add a loading file. When Next.js takes time to render this page route, the loading file will be rendered first. I also like to have this loading file inside our users page. So let's go to our user directories and add it. To stimulate loading time, inside an app group, add a utility function, say wait. It is a promise function that takes some seconds to be returned. Inside the routes page, call the wait functions, let's say 12 seconds. Nobody can make long man. You underestimate the power or the puberties of the boy. Back in the day when the internet was slow, I was like waiting like a minute for a 10-second GIF. You know what? I was called the fast hand for a reason. Show me what you got. Next13 will no longer support get static props API or get server-side prop API or ISO or any get static part. Instead, they use fetch class for almost everything. So let's go to the user page and add the fake fetch user functions. I want this fetch to be a server rendering, so let's say cache no store and finally return that user. Show me what you got. Hey guys, thank you for watching. We have roughly tested the Next.js 13 new features and hope you enjoyed it. I'm on my way to create a Next.js 13's blog post step by step in detail, and so please wait a couple of days more and please like and subscribe to get the notifications.